Hi, I'm Iona Rangeley-Wilson. I'm an intern here at the Reykjavik Grapevine and you're watching Abandoned Iceland. We're here today at Nesjavellir, which is about a 40 minutes drive outside of Reykjavik. It's just north of Hveragerði, which is called the Earthquake Town, and it's just south of the Þingvellir National Park, which you can see in the background behind me, this lake over here. Þingvellir was the site of Iceland's parliament between the 10th and 18th centuries, and it's part of the Golden Circle. People often go there on tours, so it's very cool. And all of these places are on a rift between two tectonic plates, which is why Nesjavellir is such a hotbed of geothermal activity. The Game of Thrones fans amongst you may well recognise this as the Vale of Arryn. This is where Brienne of Tarth fights the Hound at the end of season 4, and I believe where Arya leaves the Hound for dead. Sorry for the spoilers, although if you haven't finished Game of Thrones following lockdown, then you were probably never going to. I was going to reenact the fight for you today, but unfortunately I couldn't find anyone willing to take me on with a sword. Maybe next time. It's also a very popular spot for mountain biking and hiking. You can probably see why, it looks amazing. And yeah, who'd have thought that this was just the other side of the hill from a huge power station? This is the Nesjavellir power station. Plans for utilising Nesjavellir for geothermal power were made as early as 1947, but this particular power station opened in 1990. And about 25% of Iceland's energy comes from geothermal power at the moment, and all of the rest of it is hydropower, which means amazingly, absolutely all of Iceland's energy comes from clean, renewable sources. And I think that from the Nesjavellir power station, this produces about 120 kilowatts or 120 kilowatts of energy or 1,800 litres of hot water per second. In fact, everywhere in Iceland gets its hot water from geothermal power like this, which is why when you get in the shower here, it'll often smell of like sulphur or rotten eggs. And that's not as I first thought when I arrived in the Airbnb, because your drain is blocked. It's just because of how we heat our water here. Now, these rather alien-looking buildings might look like something out of The Martian, but if the whole planet got our energy this way, it might actually be key to not destroying the planet and having to go into outer space. They're called geodesic domes, and they house boreholes, which are dug up to 3 kilometers down into the Earth's surface, and water is pumped down where it's superheated and expands into steam, and then comes up and turns turbines, which generates electricity. So of course there are still some downsides to geothermal energy, and this does still produce carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide, but I think only about 3% of the amount that would be produced if this power station was run by fossil fuels. And what they do with it is they dilute the carbon dioxide in water and then inject it back into the earth so that it fuses with the rock and solidifies so that it can't pollute the Earth's atmosphere, which is pretty cool. Can you hear that? It's like Chernobyl meets an Icelandic spa day. Very powerful. So we're now here in the Ion Adventure Hotel. Ion Adventure Hotel, like Iona Rangeley Wilson. And this hotel is powered entirely by green energy from the power plant behind us. And as you can imagine, it would be an amazing place to watch the Northern Lights because there's no light pollution anywhere and these glass walls all around us. And it's operating at a limited capacity at the moment because of the pandemic, although it is open on weekends. But very kindly, we've been allowed in for a coffee. I'll be sitting here enjoying my cappuccino. So if you haven't been to Iceland before, it might look a bit like I'm standing on a different planet because of all these crazy colours. I think the blue water is created by silicon, and then the red is because of iron compounds in the rock. So there's lots of just geothermal matter everywhere. So why is Nesjavellir so steamy? Well, it's because it's on a rift between two tectonic plates, the North American plate and the Eurasian plate. And where tectonic plates separate, it's possible for the immense heat from within the Earth's crust to get a little bit closer to the surface, which is why most of the water here is boiling hot. But I can assure you that this particular stream is very cold. Ah! And you can drink it. I'm standing in a very eggy smelling cloud of steam coming from this hot water, which I imagine is a bit too hot to swim in. And yeah, this is just over the hill from the power station. So this river is naturally heated, which is why I can put my feet in it even though it's mid-October. I was thinking of having a swim in it, but apparently it's a bit too slippery today. But even so, I think the water is lovely and warm, the air slightly less so. And as you can see, it's blue, like the Blue Lagoon, because of all the silicon. And yeah, it's a perfect place to end our adventures. Please like the video on our Instagram page and subscribe to the YouTube channel, join the High Five Club if you can. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll just be swimming in the water here. The current is so strong.